Hello lovelies, thank you for stopping by another tutorial today. So in this video I'll be showing you how to make a front twist bubu or a crisscross bubu top. Now the one on the left is the inspiration, while mine is the one on the right and the video in the middle. You can see that I made mine sleeveless and I did a little curved design at the back. So if you'd like to learn how to make this, please do well to watch this video to the end. Like, share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and let's get on with it. Alright, so I'm going to be drafting and cutting out directly on my fabric, and the fabric I made use of here is Ankara. So I made use of about 2.5 to 3 yards of this fabric, and this is by 45 inches in length. So 2.5 to 3 yards was just enough for the size I wanted, without sleeves, not too big and not too long as well. Now Ankara or cotton fabrics are not the best choice of fabrics to use for this style. You want to go for something a bit more flowy and something that is lighter, like chiffon, organza, satin, silk. I think there are better options. So you need something that is going to give a draped or draping look, if my sentence is correct. You shall get what I mean, something that is just a bit more flowy. Now I'm going to go on to place my fabric on a fold, and as you can see here, I have shortened the length of the fabric to what I actually need. So from my shoulder to where I want this blouse to stop is 28 inches, and I have an extra half an inch to 0.75 inches for hemming allowance. Now for the width of this fold, from the folded edge to the open edge right here, what I have is 40 inches plus an extra half an inch for hemming allowance. So take note that this is on a fold, so 40 inches on a fold, and when it is opened up it is 80 inches. Now you can see I've made a demarcation here. I drew out a straight line from the top down. So from the folded edge of the fabric to that line is 15 inches, and this compartment here is where I'm going to be drafting out my bubu pattern. So I'm going to be cutting out my bubu, or drafting and cutting out my bubu, in this 15 inches space. Now the extension after that line, the additional fabric after that 15 inches point there to the open edge, is 25 inches. So that is the width of the extended fabric. So that additional 25 inches plus the initial 15 inches is what adds up to make 40 inches, which is the width of this my fabric placed on a fold. I hope you understand to this point. So usually when you're drafting out your basic bodies or your basic bubu dress, your center front is always the folded edge, right? But now in this case, the center front is going to be the open edge. So this line I have drawn out here, this demarcation I made here of 15 inches, that is going to be my center front. So I'm going to curve out my neckline toward the open edge, and then my shoulder and my armhole is going to go toward the folded edge. That side is going to be cut off eventually, but the center front is going to be toward the open edge that has the extended fabric, that has that extra fabric of 25 inches. Now this 15 inches compartment I kept here is just enough for me to add 3 inches of allowance to my body circumference measurement. So if you want something wider, you might want to keep about 18 to 20 inches of space to draft out your bubu. That might be enough for you to add an extra 4 to 5 inches of allowance to your body circumference measurement. Also, if you want to cut it out with sleeves, you're going to have to add some extra inches depending on the length of your sleeve. Now I'll start drafting out my bubu pattern. So from this 15 inches line I drew out here, I'll mark inwards my neck width of 3 inches. And I'm going to mark downwards a neck depth of 3 inches. So I do not have to mark down a neck depth of 3 inches because the final neckline is like a V-neck. So marking 3 by 3 inches here did not work. So please disregard this my neck depth of 3 inches I marked out here, but we're just going to proceed for now. Now still from that line of 15 inches, that's the center front, I'll go in by my shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2, and that is 7.5 inches. Now instead of marking my chest line and drawing out my armhole curve, I'm going to go on to add some extra inches to this shoulder measurement. So I'm adding 4 extra inches to my shoulder measurement because I want to make pleats around the shoulders. So I want the fullness of the bubu to start from the shoulders, and I also want to give it a kind of draped look around the shoulder area. Now if you're going to be cutting it with the sleeves, you want to skip this armhole part. You just measure the length of your sleeve and you measure out your sleeve opening, and from the sleeve opening you're just going to make a curve into the side, just like you're cutting out a normal bubu. Now I'm going to go on to mark my chest line. From the shoulder line I'll mark down my chest line, which is 8.5 inches, and I'm adding 1 extra inch to that my chest line measurement because I don't want this fitted at all. This is not a fitted top. So I'll connect with a straight line from the chest to the shoulder, and I'm going to make a slant from the neck width into the shoulder line for my shoulder slope. And the next thing to do is to draw out my armhole curve. So on the chest line, I'm going to take the measurement of the widest part of my body, which is my hip. So I'm going to take the measurement of my hip divided by 4. So my hip circumference divided by 4 is 10.25 inches. Now I'm placing the tip of my center front line. I'm going to go inwards by 10.25 and I'm going to add an additional 3 inches of allowance to this. And after adding these 3 inches, I'm going to add 1 extra inch for sewing allowance. Now you can most definitely make yours larger, so you can add 4 or 5 extra inches instead of the 3 inches I added here, but I did not want mine to be so big. That's why I added only 3 inches. Now to draw out my armhole curve, I'll mark the midpoint of this armhole line, and then I'm going to go inwards by about 0.75 inches, and then I'm just going to make a curve from the shoulder slope into the chest line, which has my hip circumference measurement divided by 4 plus extra allowance. Now I'm just going to rule a straight line from the side of the armhole straight down to the end of the blouse, and I'll cut it out. So now cutting out this neckline here wasn't necessary because this is not the actual neckline for this top, so it's going to be like a v-neck. Now I'm going to go on to mark my actual neck depth. So the neck depth I'm using is 7 inches. You can go lower than 7 inches, but 7 inches is what I want so that it doesn't expose my bust too much. And I'm going to just connect it like a V from the neck depth into the 3 inches neck width. So this is the actual neck depth here. Now I'm going to go on to mark the midpoint of this line. So the full length of this blouse is 28 inches, like I mentioned, as you can see here. And now I'm going to mark the midpoint of this 28 inches, which is 14 inches. So this is where I want my knot to sit. Now you can go lower than 14 inches. It also depends on the length of your top, but I just use the middle of my top as a landmark or as a guide for where I want my knot to be. So this is not like a fixed figure. I just didn't want my knot to be too low. So I'm just going to mark that midpoint of 14 inches, and I'll draw a straight line from this point outwards to the open edge of the fabric. So I'll keep confirming if I have the 14 inches here. I'm just going to continue straight this way. Now I'm done with this, back to the neckline. I'm going to connect from this neck depth into this extension here. So I'm just going to make a curve with my free hand, and I'll make it to blend with this 14 inches line that we have drawn out here. Now I'm going to go on to just cut it out. Now I'll take this extra fabric away because we don't need it. Now if I place it this way, you can see what I have cut out. You can see the neck swoop I have made at the top there from the neck depth into the extended fabric. And don't forget that this was placed on a fold, so we have 2 pieces for the front. Now measuring this extended fabric again, you can see that it is 25 inches plus a little extra ½ inch for joining allowance to join the 2 pieces of the front together at that point there. Now you can make this longer than 25 inches. You can make it 28 inches, 30 inches. It depends on the length of your top, and it also depends on how loose or how tight you want your knot to be. So I needed my knot to be tight and also centered at the midpoint of my blouse. So the 25 inches extended fabric and the 14 inches midpoint of my blouse matched perfectly. I really hope you understand what I mean. Now this is it placed on the floor so you can see the full top I have cut out. And this is everything for the front part for now. I'm going to go on to work on the back. Now I've placed another fabric on a fold. It has a length of 28 inches just like the front, and I have about ½ an inch for hemming allowance. Now I'm going to go on to mark in 2 inches from the folded edge. No, this bubu does not have a zipper, so these 2 inches I'm going in by, we're just going to call this the overlap allowance. Now I want the center back to overlap each other, so I'm going to mark 2 inches from the top down to the end of the fabric. And now from this overlap allowance line, I'm going to mark in a neck width of 3 inches and a neck depth of 1 inch, and I'm going to just curve this into this line this way. Now still from this point, this midpoint of the back, I'll mark in my shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'm not adding any allowance for pleats. From that line, I'll mark down my chest line, and I'm adding 1 inch to my chest line for ease. I'll draw out the lines this way, and I'm just going to slant from my neck width into my shoulder line to just draw out my shoulder slope. And from that shoulder slope, I'll divide that line into 2. I'll go inwards by about ½ an inch. On the chest line here, I'm still going to mark my hip circumference measurement divided by 4, and I'm going to further add 3 inches of allowance to it. So like I said before, you can make it 4 or 5. It depends on how wide or how big you want your bubu to be. And I'm just going to draw out my armhole curve. So from the side here, I'm going to take it straight down to the end. I was supposed to add 1 extra inch for sewing allowance, but I forgot. So please do well to add your sewing allowance. Now moving over to the center back, from the top of the overlap allowance, I'm just making a curve into the side of this back piece. Now I did not want it to just be straight and plain. I just wanted a little style at the back, so it's just going to have like a V opening at the lower part of the back, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So you can see that the back is not the same as the front. That's why I decided to cut them out separately. So you can just follow this or freestyle with your back piece however you like. Now I'll just go on to notch this overlap point right here, and then when I open it up, I'm going to place one of the pieces of the back on top the other right here. So the notch I made is just like a landmark to know where it stops. You can also just measure the 2 inches of allowance that you kept. Now your center back might not have a joining, so you might also want to notch the center back at the top, just at the neckline there, because you're going to need that when you're joining it with the front. Now I've used a pin to just secure the overlap pieces. I'm bringing in our front piece. I'm going to place the sides together. So I'm placing the front on the back, right sides facing, and you can see that the shoulders of the front are wider than the shoulders of the back. So I'm going to pleat the front to match the length of the back shoulder, and I'm going to sew a straight stitch across there. I'm also going to sew the sides together with 1 inch of allowance. I'll do the same thing to the other piece of the front. I'll join the shoulders, making the pleats. As you can see here, I've already done that. These are the 2 shoulders after making the pleats on the front. I also went on to sew the overlap pieces with a straight stitch just at the top there, and I finished up the open edges of the center back with a bias. I also joined the sides of the front and the back with 1 inch of allowance, like I said. Now it is time to make our knot, our twist, our crisscross, however you call it. I'm going to bring the edges of these 2 extended fabric together. I'll place them right sides facing, and I'm going to make a straight stitch joining them together with about 1/2 inch of allowance. Now this is it after sewing them together. Now please pay close attention here. I'm going to open up the fabric this way, and then I'm going to further fold it. So you can see the center line I have here. I'm going to fold this extended fabric wrong sides facing. Now after folding it wrong sides facing, I'll adjust the sides, and now I'm going to make a twist. I'm going to take the right side to the left side to the right side. I'm just going to turn it this way, just twist it once, just once. I'm just going to twist it like this, and then I'm going to take the center of this fabric where I have the joining, and I'm going to join it with the center of your back. So that center back that you notched, this is where it comes in. You're just going to join the center of this extended fabric where you have the joining with the center back, and you're just going to pin. So I decided to explain this further on my body. Maybe it's going to make more sense, hopefully. Now you can see this center front part that we have joined together, the extension that we sewed together at the center front. I'm just going to put this on my body, and I'm going to hold this center front joining right here. So I'm just showing you the joining on the wrong side so you can see it clearer. Now I'm going to fold in that center point. I'm going to fold in this joining like this, so making sure that I am folding them wrong sides together, wrong sides facing. After folding it in, I'll adjust the sides, and now I'm going to take this over my head. Now if I just take this over my head, it becomes a jacket and takes away from our twist style. So in order to achieve that twist crisscross style, I'm going to have to twist this. So you take the right side to the left side to the right side. Now you just twist it once, and now you can take it over your head. Now after taking this over your head, you're going to make sure you place your center front where you have that joining with your center back. So your center back that you have notched, you're going to place it with the center front where the joining is, and you also make sure to place them right sides together so that you can sew on the wrong side. So you're just going to sew it all around from that center back down to the center front where you have the knot. I'm going to continue pinning this on the table from the center back all around the neckline down to where your knot starts becoming tight. Now you're going to make sure that what you're pinning is equal on both sides. tight, so you don't want your knot looking one-sided by the time you're done sewing. Now I'm going to go ahead and just sew all around. So you're going to sew it to where your knot is really tight and your needle cannot pass through anymore. So this is it here after sewing it all around. You can go on to finish up these rough edges by weaving or overlocking them. Now you can go on to also iron it, making sure that the collar opens up and lays flat like this. I feel it looks better this way. I went on to finish up the rest of the open edges of the front by folding it in twice, and I also finished up the armhole with a bias. So I used the bias to just fold it in, and for the center back I did not want to just leave it completely open from the neck down to the end, so I just sewed a straight stitch from the neck downwards by about 10 inches, and that is everything for this top. If you've watched this video up to this point, thank you so much. Now this is the outcome of the top on me. I was really skeptical at first about using Ankara to make this style, but it did not come out looking so bad. So this is everything for this tutorial. I also made matching shorts to go with this top, and if you'd like to see a tutorial on how to make these shorts, it's going to be the video just right after this one, so please do well to check it out. I also styled it with this white shirt inside. And that is all. Please do well to like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to respond. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.